going on? As usual, I've got some big crazy story and it's all about me. Uh, well, no, this is about you and chords and a little bit about my book. I'll tell you maybe a little story. I'm gonna show you some chords that I drew out on. These are sort of like chords that were intimidating to me. This is from page 39 of my guitar chord book. I made a book, and on page 39 there's a bunch of chords that might look a little unusual to a beginning or intermediate guitar player. So if you've only been playing like 2 or 3 years, we're going to say you're kind of in the intermediate or beginning phase. So this is page 39 of my book. I'll show you some chords and I'll tell you a little story, not too much. When I grew up, I just knew, my good old normal chords down there, and then I moved up to bar chords. Cool, major, minor, and seventh bar chords all over the neck. That's cool. Then I joined jazz band in high school, and I breezed through the audition playing B-flat blues, And now, when I got my sheet music for guitar, the guitar part in jazz band, I had no idea. In fact, I just sort of flopped and just stopped showing up because I had no idea what to do. So, and there was no instruction or anything. There was no diagrams. So like a major seventh or a diminished or maybe I could play a few things, but like a minor 7 flat 5, no way, or an 11th or something. I had no idea. So that was my first attempt at this kind of chord I'm going to show you in a little bit. And second time, I was in my dorm room in college, and a guy burst in. He was real excited. He wanted to jam. He wanted to play, and he knew these kind of more complicated chords, and he was kind of like insisting that I play them right now, and I'm like, I don't know these. And so that was a weird experience. So I had a couple of sort of negative, weird experiences with these chords, probably a few. But over time, I've learned them. And they are very cool. So let me just show you a few chords. And we're going to go slow and calm, and there's no, my experiences were negative, and I'm going to try and make a positive experience. So that's what I do, is take things that bothered me and try to fix them for other people so they don't bother you. So the first one I'm going to do is major 7. This is a G major 7. I'll give you a quick little demo. The cool thing about this is you can move it like to C major 7 or F major 7 or B flat major 7, E flat major 7, A flat major 7, D flat major 7, G flat major 7, B major 7, and E major 7. It's a nice sound, isn't it? It's very gentle. It's not, it's a very kind of resolved and consonant sound. The major 7 is like kind of a sympathetic quality or nurturing. That's the mood that I get from that chord. It also sounds kind of like maybe a big band sound, or maybe Frank Sinatra or the Carpenters. It's cool. So, to make that chord, now normally, we're used to bar chords or cowboy chords. These resemble bar chords, but they're movable, as I showed you. This one's going to be like this. So that's your index finger on the 6th string, 3rd fret. On the tip, middle finger goes to 2nd string, 3rd fret. That's a D. So we got G and D, which they're split out there. You can do that. Peace, baby. Right there. Okay. Then ring finger goes to 4th string, 4th fret, the F sharp, which is our 7th. Pinky goes to 3rd string, 4th fret. That's our major 3rd. So here we've got a root, 5th, major 7th, and a 3rd. And that's the formula for the chord. And you'll see in the diagram there's some X's in there. I'll try to lift this up. That G major 7th. See those X's? All that means is we're going to mute those strings. And it's pretty easy. You just, my index finger is going to tilt slightly over and knock out the A string. And the fat part of my index finger is touching the 1st string. Okay, what I was doing there was something called comping, where I strum, then relax my left hand slightly so the notes, here's if I hold my fingers down, and when I want to stop the sound, I just kind of, that's like tapping the brakes. You just lift up and the notes stop ringing. That's all there is to it. And if you do them on quarter notes, it sounds like this. Cool. Maybe we'll do the first row. So that's major 7th. No rush. Everything's cool. The 2nd chord is a G7. In tablature language, it'd be a 3-3-3-4 or 3-3-4-3. That's a G, F, B, D. There's only one note difference between G major 7th and a G7. We drop the major 7 down here to a flatted 7. So in the scale, check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to flat the 7th. And that sounds more kind of, you know how I said the major 7th is kind of a floaty, soft, nurturing chord. This one, just by changing that one chord, changes the mood entirely to aggressive, a little bit excited, maybe a little bit slightly angry. So here's major 7th up high, and here's dominant 7th up high. It's really screechy. Okay, so all we do, we're flatting one note. That's the difference between G major 7th and G7. But the fingering, you got to pick every... It's kind of hard to switch. Whoa. Let's rebuild this. Index, middle, ring, pinky. G, F, D, B. And we're going to mute any open string. So that's a dominant 7th chord. All right, all right, all right. So now we know G major 7th and G7th, and we know the shapes that we move. Now, if we move that note, well, let's review. That note was here, G, on the G major 7th. We flatted it, G7. Flat that note one more time. Now we've got the 6th note in the scale. Let's find that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's an E note. So if you add an E note to a G major chord, you've got a G6. And that's going to be middle, index, ring, pinky, 3, 2, 4, 3. That's a G, E, B, D. In the sixth quality, kind of blends in with that major seventh as far as, you know, the happy, kind of nurturing, mellow, calm. So that's a G, E, B, D. Sixth chord. Cool. And so the only difference in those three chords, here's G major seventh, it's got the sixth, or G major seventh has got the seventh. G7's got a flatted 7, flat that note one more, and you've got a G6. So you're just moving one note down to get these different formulas. Let's do a G ninth chord. This one's going to look like this. Here we've got a root, third, flatted 7th, and a ninth interval. So you find those like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, flatted 7, 8, 9. So the ninth note of a G major scale is an A. If we add an A plus a dominant seventh, which is a flatted 7, I didn't make that up. That's an F plus an A added to a G chord. Got a G ninth chord. And so that's a G, B, F, A. And these kind of blend in with dominant seventh chords. So if you do a G7 to a G9, they're really closely related. In fact, a G9 is just a G7 adding a ninth interval. Now let's do a G minor 7. You might know bar chords like this, but for like a jazz band, sometimes it's just too much information. You don't need so many notes. It's just kind of like the equivalent of shouting. Just too much. So we kind of thin that down and we get this. Slightly more elegant, a little bit easier too. So a G minor 7's got a root, flatted third because it's minor, a fifth, and a flatted 7. G minor 7. So that's all on the 3rd fret, middle fingers on the 6th string, 6th string, 3rd fret, ring finger lays flast, new word. Ring finger lays flat on the 3rd fret, on the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings. Minor 7, cool. So if you dig this, if I'm helpful at all, you know, you can only take so much of this before you can only take so much information. But, so this is on page 39 of my book. Why it's called Guitar Chords. And I do have a few copies remaining. I can send you one if you're interested. You can email me at hooverguitar@yahoo, or I'll put a link in the description here. So, if you've never played those chords, just give them a try, and remember they're movable. So not only are you learning some G chords, you know, that minor 7, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G. Whoa. Hit the button there. Let me know what you think. And thanks so much.